What's up everyone? Today I want to share with you my 5 things that I look for when buying an LED light. For the past few months I've been doing a lot of research trying to find an LED light kit that would work best for my needs as a traveling filmmaker. Now, because I am a run and gun filmmaker shooting things that require very fast setup time, my needs may be different than yours, but if you're like me and the one thing that slows down your production time more than anything else is lighting, then here are the things I look for when buying an LED light. Number 1 is portability and flexibility. I need something that is easy to travel with and quick to set up and tear down. Number 2 is battery powerable. I need the flexibility of not being tethered to an outlet or generator, but rather something that can last multiple hours on a single charge. Number 3 is dimmable bicolor. I need the flexibility of quickly being able to adjust brightness and change color balance as I move from one location to the next. Number 4 is light quantity. I need a kit with sufficiently bright light output. Number 5 is light quality. The light needs to be at least a 95 CRI so that it renders naturally looking colors in my images. Now, of course, there are many different factors to consider, and I'll mention a few of those throughout the video, but those are my top 5. And after considering many different options for many different reasons, I finally decided to go with the Westcott Flex 1x1 bicolor 2-light cine travel kit. And after having used this kit on half a dozen shoots now, I can honestly say that I love it more every time I use it, and here are a few reasons why. First is my need for portability and flexibility. This kit comes in a Pelican case, which makes it great for traveling on planes, and it can even be reduced to fit inside a check-in bag to save on baggage costs. Not to mention, it is super lightweight compared to most lights, since the actual light is just a flexible pad. As far as setup time goes, it can easily be set up in just a couple minutes, and it even has tear-down Scrim Gym frames for compact storage, but a lot of times I just leave those set up to reduce my setup time even more. Also, not only are these lights very lightweight, but they are also super durable, so you don't have to worry about anything ever breaking. In fact, these lights are claiming to be water resistant, so they can withstand years of use in extreme conditions like rain and dust. So this case easily passes my portability test with the bonus of durability. And as far as flexibility goes, this kit lives up to its name of the Flex Light, as it's the only LED light I've found that you can place virtually anywhere due to its flexible, lightweight design. My second need is battery powerable. This light kit comes with 2 compact lithium-ion batteries, one for each light, and each battery can last up to 3 hours on a single charge. And this is where this kit blows a lot of other kits out of the water. Because it has very minimal heating and power draw, you get much longer battery life, or if you're plugged into a wall, you're going to have a lot lower electric bill. The trade-off though to longer battery life usually means that they're not going to give you very powerful light output. But that's not the case with the Flex kit. I've personally owned cheaper LED lights in the past that last about 3 hours as well, but have about 5 times less light output. And on the flip side, I've used LED lights that are brighter and more powerful than this Flex kit, but they have a battery life of less than an hour with a much heavier and bulkier battery and light. So there's definitely compromise when it comes to output versus battery life, but for my purposes, the Westcott Flex has the perfect balance between the two. My third need is dimmable bicolor. Now, normally if you buy a bicolor light versus a daylight only light, you're going to get less total light output. But Westcott has actually doubled the intensity of each LED in the bicolor units. Therefore, if you are in daylight mode on the bicolor units, it will have the same exact output as a daylight only unit. So you get the same bright output plus the flexibility of being able to change color balances, and those range from 2800 Kelvin all the way to 6000 Kelvin, which is a larger range than most cheaper bicolor LED lights, which will usually only go from 3200 Kelvin to 5600 Kelvin. So again, this kit fills my needs for quick and easy color temperature and brightness adjustments. My fourth need is light quantity. In other words, how bright is the light output? The measurement I look for when shopping for a bright light is the lux per unit area. Lux being the unit used to measure luminance or brightness, and the FlexMat measures at about 2000 lux per a distance of 1 meter. Again, there are LED lights out there that will measure much brighter than this one, but you're going to sacrifice on battery life, bicolor, portability, flexibility. So it's just a trade-off, and you have to decide what are the most important features to you? I have found these flex lights to be sufficiently bright in most situations. There are times when I'm trying to combat the sunlight that they just don't quite do the job, but then again, most battery-powered lights will struggle when combating direct sunlight. Moving on to my fifth need in an LED light is light quality. Now when I say quality, I mean how natural does the light source look? Could you mistake it for natural sunlight, or is it easy to tell that you're being lit by a cheap artificial light? Most LEDs are going to give you a green or magenta spike, making your lights look unnatural and forcing you to spend extra time in post trying to color correct. This is one of the biggest complaints professionals usually have about using LED lights, is that they aren't natural looking. So the way quality of light is measured is by looking at its CRI number. CRI stands for Color Rendering Index and basically means the closer that number is to 100, the closer it will resemble natural sunlight in its ability to reveal colors correctly. So when I'm shopping for a light, I want that CRI number to be at least 95. The FlexMatte is rated at a 95 to 98 CRI, which is about as high as you'll find in the market and definitely shows in the images I've been able to produce. This light by far renders the most true-to-life, natural-looking colors out of any other LEDs I've used, and one of the main reasons being its super high CRI rating. Another question to ask concerning quality of light is whether it is flicker free or not. This means shooting at a higher shutter speed or when shooting super slow motion, will the light flicker? And the FlexMattes have been tested at up to 2,000 frames per second on the Phantom Miro Pro, and they proved to be flicker free. So this kit definitely meets my needs for light quality. So there you have my 5 factors that I consider when buying an LED light. There's so many options out there and there's pros and cons to each. You just have to decide which features are most important to you. For me, the Westcott Flex Kit was the best option that met most of my needs. And the only real con I can think of with this light kit is the price. It is pretty expensive at around $3,000, but you definitely get what you pay for. My last LED light kit cost about $1,200, and after using it for a while, I was unhappy with the total light output, and it also gave my subjects a magenta color cast because the CRI rating wasn't very high. So you will pay more money for professional high quality lights, but when comparing this LED light to other professional LED lights like KinoFlows, it's actually quite inexpensive. So it just depends on your perspective. But to help with the price, I've actually worked out a deal with Westcott. They were awesome enough to offer 10% off their products to all full-time filmmaker members, saving you $300 off this kit, and you can take advantage of this discount using coupon code FTF10. One other con that some of you might say is that the kit is only a 2-light kit instead of the traditional 3-light kit, and initially this was one of my concerns as well, but after having used it a few times, I realized that I rarely had a need for a 3rd light, and that if I did have the need, I could just use a reflector as that fill light. And you can check out how I effectively used only these 2 lights to light an entire commercial for a client recently by checking out the virtual job shadow section. But that's it. If you have any further questions, please let me know.